Hello, my name is Michael Baldwin at Baldwin Legal Services. I'm a personal injury lawyer who specializes in insurance in the state of Michigan. Today I want to briefly explain to you how automobile insurance works when you're involved in a motorcycle accident. Motorcycles have unique status under Michigan no-fault law because they are not included in the definition of motor vehicles. And therefore, a motorcyclist is not obligated to carry compulsory no-fault insurance in the state of Michigan. What this means is that a motorcyclist is not required by law to carry no-fault coverage like they would be if they owned a car or a truck. When I say no-fault insurance, what I'm referring to is reimbursement for medical bills, household services, nursing care, wage loss, and medical mileage. These 5 reimbursements are what we call personal injury protection benefits, or PIP benefits. Because a motorcyclist is not obligated by law to carry no-fault insurance, there is no PIP coverage available to the motorcyclist in a motorcycle accident unless there was contact with a motor vehicle. As a remedy, the motorcyclist can purchase motorcycle medical coverage benefits to cover their insurance needs. It is important to note, however, that we are talking about insurance benefits covering medical expenses, and they do not rise to the level of coverage that PIP benefits would offer a person injured in a car or truck. Now that we have briefly talked about no-fault insurance coverage, or PIP benefits, let's talk about a different insurance coverage that an owner or registrant of a motorcycle must carry by law. Under Michigan law, all motorcyclists wearing a helmet or not must carry liability insurance to cover loss resulting from property damage, bodily injury to another person, or death suffered by a person arising out of the ownership, maintenance, or use of their motorcycle. What that means is that if the motorcyclist is the owner or constructive owner of the motorbike, they must have motorcycle insurance called PLPD, which stands for Personal Liability and Property Damage. Failure to have this required insurance coverage will result in disqualification of no-fault benefits if they have an accident with a motor vehicle. To put it another way, the motorcyclist must have liability coverage on his or her motorcycle in order to qualify for no-fault auto insurance benefits from the owner driver of the car or truck involved in the accident. If the motorcyclist does not have liability coverage on their motorcycle, then he or she will be barred from recovering no-fault PIP benefits from that accident. Assuming the motorcycle is insured with liability coverage, and if there's a collision coverage on the motorcycle policy, that coverage will pay for the damage to the motorcycle. If the motorcyclist is at fault for the accident, the motorcycle insurer will provide legal representation for the claim and will pay up to the liability policy limits to any injured party. However, the motorcycle insurer does not cover Michigan no-fault benefits like an auto insurer does. To meet the mandatory motorcycle insurance standards for liability coverage, you'll need to obtain the following amounts and types of liability protection at minimum. They are $20,000 of coverage for bodily injuries or death involving one person in a single accident, and $40,000 of coverage for bodily injuries or deaths involving more than one person in a single accident, and $10,000 of coverage for property damage in a single accident. We call this 20-40-10 coverage. Next, I want to talk to you about optional first-party medical benefits for motorcyclists wearing helmets. This coverage is not to be confused with mandatory liability coverage. Unlike motorcyclists who choose to ride without a helmet, A motorcycle rider wearing a helmet has the option to choose to purchase medical benefits coverage. Specifically, they can obtain from their motorcycle insurance company first-party medical benefits in increments of $5,000, payable in the event that the owner or registrant of the motorcycle is involved in a motorcycle accident, not making contact with a motor vehicle. Now, a motorcyclist who is over 21 years of age and is not required to wear a helmet if he or she has motorcycle insurance coverage for first-party medical benefits in the following amounts. Not less than $20,000 if the motorcyclist is operating his or her motorcycle without a rider, or not less than $20,000 per person per occurrence if the motorcyclist is riding with a rider and neither of them are wearing motorcycle helmets. Finally, there are some exceptions to collecting no-fault insurance with a motorcycle, and liability coverage requirements have been met. The first exception deals with a parked car. Accidents with a motorcycle and a parked car do not qualify for no-fault insurance coverage. The only coverage available in this situation is if the motorcycle owner purchased optional motorcycle personal injury coverage on their policy of insurance, as we have previously discussed. Although motorcycle personal injury insurance will cover accidental medical expenses, it is not the same coverage provided by regular automobile Michigan no-fault insurance. For example, the wage loss would not be included in motorcycle medical as it would be in automobile no-fault coverage. Another exception to collecting no-fault insurance in a motorcycle accident is when the motorcyclist is involved in an accident with a pedestrian. In that situation, the motorcyclist may not be entitled to collect Michigan no-fault insurance benefits. Likewise, a pedestrian injured by a motorcycle is not entitled to no-fault benefits. So, what can you do if you've been involved in a motorcycle accident and you're not clear on what your rights and benefits are? You can call my office to discuss accident and go over your insurance coverage questions so that you understand what insurance coverage you are afforded after suffering in a motorcycle accident.